In certain modes, sometimes it's more like you're floating along the road rather than driving on it. It is a very tranquil machine. Welcome to the Driver Reviews channel. I'm Vicki Butler-Henderson, and today we are looking at the first facelift of BMW's electric sports activity vehicle, the iX. The headlines are a sportier design, more power and a longer range. There are 3 trim levels and 3 models, all with new numbers in their names, and prices start at around £75,000 through to £114,000. This one is pretty much smack bang in the middle. Before you settle down and watch, please press like and subscribe so that you're notified each time we post something new. It might be hard to believe that the iX even needs some styling tweaks because the original one still looks like it was sent from the future, even though it was launched in 2021. Now that car has, and this car will, divide opinion when it comes to its looks. Please let us know what you think in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. This is the xDrive 60M Sport, which is the model with the longest range, 426 miles, and it costs £93,000 plus around £15,000 worth of options here. At the front, the kidney grille has been redesigned, and to make sure this can be fully appreciated, it can be illuminated. There are some design tweaks to the lights and the inclusion of city light technology to shine on the pavement as well as the road ahead in urban areas. There's a more sculpted front bumper, more body-coloured parts to the lower sections, and round the back the diffuser shines in high gloss black with vertical reflectors. And this one has the £1,350 M Sport Pro package, which darkens the light inlays and gives a pop of colour to the calipers. In the boot, there is a competitive 500 litres of space, more when you fold the seats. And if you want to tow, there is an optional electric tow bar, and you can pull 2,500 kilograms, which is 300 kilograms more than the Polestar 3 rival. To give you a little idea of sizes, this car is a bit wider, taller and longer than the Polestar. And if you want to see our review of that car, then please click on the link. There are 7 new exterior colours, including this Arctic Race Blue, and you can get big 23-inch alloys for the first time with the iX. There are 21-inch alloys available as well, and these are a set of 22-inch ones. These are wrapped in Hankook Ion Evo SUV tyres, which have been developed in close collaboration with BMW. As indicated by the star marking on the sidewall, the tyre has achieved a rating of 4.1 out of 5 stars from drivers on DriverReviews. The iX's otherworldly exterior design continues in here. The cockpit is very much designed around the driver. Perfect by me. And this lovely long curved digital dash is seen again, and it was first introduced on the previous iX when it was first launched. There's an interesting mix of materials and reflective surfaces, and a discreet set of air vents. If you're the type of person who thinks buttons are history, then you will love this haptic fantastic unit on the top of this double-decker central section. There are still a few things to grab and twist with this iDrive control, being a gateway to your connected world. There's in-car gaming, video streaming, and BMW's intelligent personal assistant to tell you details from current tyre pressures to leading you to food. Hey BMW, what are my tyre pressures?
The current pressure is all right for all tyres.
Hey BMW, I'm hungry.
I have found multiple destinations in the category hungry. Which one should I select?
There is also a digital key function where you can pair your phone to be the key for this car. And then you can share that key with up to 18 other people. Now that is one big family, but it does also allow you to limit things like the acceleration, the power and the speed in case you've got, for example, a learner driver or something who will be taking the wheel. There's not much to entertain the passenger, but no worries because they can luxuriate in these new sports seats. They're also electric, of course, and unusually for BMW, the controls are up by the door handle rather than down on the side of the seat. Up in this new position, I find them a little unsightly. I'd rather that they were hidden out the way. As you'd expect from a car of this class, there's a very healthy list of standard equipment, from a Harman Kardon surround system to a head-up display in the driver's vision. Options include this panoramic sunroof, which is a delight. It's just over £3,000 and you can press a button and it will go all frosty. Press it again and you can see right through it. And you'll pay about the same amount of money for the technology pack, which consists of 22 kilowatt high-speed charging that triples the rate you can charge compared to an average home wall box. It also adds Parking Assistant Pro, which allows you to move the car into or out of a tight space whilst you stand outside in control via your phone. In the back of this five-seater is more of the material, which is lovely to touch. And there is so much space back here, helped by this flat floor because there is no transmission tunnel because it's an electric car, so there's no traditional transmission. Creature comforts back here, you've got heated seats, you've got a USB-C port ahead of you and a lovely hidden area for you to attach an iPad or something like that. This armrest pops down and reveals two cup holders. It is a very lovely place to be back here, apart from a tiny little issue that I've got when it comes to the door handles. This button will release the door, which is fantastic, and it's right by the grab handle, so that makes perfect ergonomic sense to put your hand in, press the button, and the door opens. However, there is an unnecessary second lever for that, which is awkwardly placed down here, and it does feel a bit flimsy. Whatever car you drive, the only thing connecting you to the road or the track are the tiny contact patches on your tyres. So it is crucial to find the right set, but searching for them can be stressful and confusing. If you need help choosing new tyres for your car, then go to DriverReviews.com, where you will see thousands of reviews of all the top brands written by drivers just like you. Also, check out the winners of our latest Customer Choice Awards. Even the entry-level iX has a decent amount of power with just over 400 horsepower. This, however, has a healthy 544 with 700 Newton meters of torque, which means that it can combine to propel this 2,500 kilogram plus machine to 62 miles an hour in 5.1 seconds. That is hot hatch territory. There are a variety of modes you can pick. So let's go for Sport, I think. So Sport makes the dash light up red and sharpens the steering and the throttle response and the suspension and gives a noise which is quite futuristic. I hope you can hear that. Sort of a whoop, which I think is quite befitting of this car. There are other noises. Let's try expressive. Oh, that could almost be a theme tune for a horror movie. Or you can just switch everything off and go into silent mode. So you've got a nice peaceful purple light on the dash and everything's a bit quiet. This mode suits this car really well, but it doesn't suit me, so I'm going back into sport. The brakes do a great job. They are strong on the pedal, and if you want more from the regenerative braking system, then you can get it. Just lift off the throttle and the car will come to an actual stop. So this car can work as a one pedal stop go machine if you want it to. I'm not a huge fan of regenerative braking, so I will knock that off as much as possible. If performance really is your priority, then go for the range topper. That's got 659 horsepower and over 1,000 Newton meters of torque, which will give it a 0 to 62 time of 3.8 seconds with launch control. But while you might want all of that power, you definitely don't need it, because one of the great things about this car and this car's character is its serenity. The chassis and suspension has been updated to cope with the extra power throughout the range, and there are dual motors and BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive system for maximum grip when called upon. This 3-spoke M Sport wheel differs to the multi-angled one that you get in the entry-level iX, and although I wholeheartedly approve of it being round, it is still too chunky, which is fashionable for BMWs at the moment. But it is not quite sensitive enough to give you the feeling that the tyre tread is in the palm of your hands. That said, it is super accurate though, and that's thanks in part to the rear wheel steering, which is part of a £1,400 option. So that gives you a really tight turning circle in town and stability when you're out in the countryside on faster corners. All this is done with very little fanfare from anything, apart from that noise if you've got it on. So you can't really hear the tyres, there's very little wind noise, and it is such a calm place to be. In certain modes, sometimes it's more like you're floating along the road rather than driving on it. It is a very tranquil machine. If you need any extra help when you're going down a hill, then it's also got hill descent control as standard, and that basically works as a very slow cruise control and allows you just to get on with the business of steering down the hill, which is very useful if you live at the bottom of a steep hill. New battery tech has improved efficiency, and which is why this mid-spec model has got that headline-grabbing figure of 426 miles between charges. If you were to stay in town or in a village, then you could eke it out to 492 miles before you need to grab the flex. It will take just over half an hour to go from 10 to 80% full when you do plug it in, which is competitive. And if you've only got time for a quick stop, then 10 minutes will top things up by around 80 miles. If you ever find your mileage calculations could fall short, don't worry, there is a mode for that. So put it into efficient mode, activate maximum range, and then the car will limit the power, the speed, the aircon, the seat heating, and just prioritise range and do its best to get you home. This car is given a good run for its money by the Polestar 3, which will save you at least £5,000 and give you a few more miles. However, this mid-spec iX, with its still impressive 426-mile range, is a cut above thanks to the mix of luxury and well-rounded electric manners. It remains the one to beat in the class. Thank you so much for watching Driver Reviews today. Please let us know your thoughts about the car in the comments section, and please press like and subscribe so that you're notified each time we post something new.